Memphis. Let's call the meeting to order. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Here.
Parker absent. Schneider.
Here.
Stoops absent. Wilson.
Here.
Zucasar. Here. Zucas W.
Here.
Could I have excuse of the, I believe it's Mr. Stoops?
I'll make a motion to excuse Stoops and Parker.
Support.
Parker absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops absent. Wilson.
Yes.
Zucasar.
Yes.
Zucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Non-agenda from the sidelines, I have none. Comments from city administration, Donna?
Okay.
Just the flyer that you guys got here, the fire department's going to be doing a trunk and treat here at the parking lot during Halloween.
Chief.
We held our first, we called it Chatting with the Chief, changed the name on it. Beth kind of called me out because we had talked at the last council meeting that we were going to have it with the last Friday in September. We also had it the first Friday in October. We're going to start having it, the chat the first Friday of the month, because we looked at it and we thought that with November we're going to start running into Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and so far it's been very well received. We've had a lot of people come in. The ladies at the Donut Girls have been fantastic. We've had a lot of people coming in, a lot of positive stuff, people opening up about some concerns and questions. That's going good. Received word yesterday that St. Clair County is going to be switching the information system for law enforcement. They're going to be going to the Clemmis system. Clemmis is normally based out of Oakland County. It's a system that a lot of the areas around Southeast Michigan are using. Right now the information is very sketchy. I don't know what the time frame is, but they're going to be sponsoring some training the end of this month in St. Clair County. I'm going to try to get as many of our officers there to get the training done. As soon as I have some more information on it, I'll make sure I get it to council and to the crime committee.
Anything else? Jamie, you're on the agenda, but is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I would like everybody to know that I will be, over the course of the next 6 weeks, I will be going and reviewing all of the properties on the St. Clair County side. So you'll see me out there. I will be out and verifying some of the dimensions as a part of our review. St. Clair County is going to go through the AMR again as a county in 2016. So yeah, it's up on the list again. So we'll be looking at every property. I will also be taking photographs, or another person will be taking photographs of every property in the city this year. So if you hear reports or calls about some strange looking guy who looks a little bit of a belly out there taking pictures, that will probably be me. And that should be, I'm looking for that to happen after the leaves fall. Visibility and the pictures, I need to be able to see the houses, and sometimes because we have a mature community, it's difficult to do that with all the trees. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey.
Senior Day, October 14th, Halloween get together, and set the date for the Daddy Daughter Dance. It's going to be February 27th. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, adoption or amendment of the agenda. I don't believe there's any amendments, so entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make the motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops absent. Wilson.
Yes.
Zucasar.
Yes.
Zucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker absent.
Okay, approval of the regular minutes, regular meeting minutes of September 15th and the executive meeting minutes of September 15th. Any change to that? I'll make your motion.
I'll make a motion we accept these 2 meeting minutes as presented.
Support.
Wilson.
Yes.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent. Schneider?
Yes.
Stoops absent.
Okay, the approval of the September disbursements of $274,480.84, and the electronic wire transfers of $12,359.34.
I'll make a motion to approve the disbursements and wire transfers as noted.
Support.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent. Schneider?
Yes.
Stoops absent. Wilson?
Yes. John, could I have you up for a minute?
Sure.
John, we'd like to express our sincere appreciation for your willingness to contribute to your time and support of the city of Memphis. Your hard work, professionalism, and dedication to the city of Memphis did not go unnoticed. Your assistance to help the city of Memphis during this time was greatly appreciated. And on behalf of the city council, this letter of thanks can never express our appreciation enough for your efforts. And we thank you very much for your efforts, okay?
Thanks.
And I'll give you this letter and this little gift for you.
Thank you.
And I would appreciate it if you would also give this one to Linda. And along with the letter. And really thank you for your
Thanks a lot.
help, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, John. Welcome.
Thank you.
Real pleasure having you around.
Thank you. Thank you.
John, you're welcome to stay, but you may find it boring, so it's up to you.
I think we'll stay if you don't mind. You'll have us.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Can I have a motion to place the communications on file?
So moved.
Support.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent. Schneider?
Yes.
Stoops absent. Wilson?
Yes.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Okay, the first one, the only one here on the communications, is the Friends of the Memphis Library, and they are requesting use of the community center. I won't go over all these dates, but apparently they've checked with the librarian and so on, and apparently they're open, so if there's no questions, I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion we allow the Friends of the Library to use our community centers on the dates presented here to us. Evidently it's been approved by the librarian, so we're good there.
Support.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker absent. Schneider?
Yes.
Stoops absent. Wilson?
Yes.
Lukasar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
You know, I don't know if this is a typo or not, but these are all Wednesdays except for the date in March. So I don't know if they just changed it or whatever, just make me aware of that.
And maybe 20 days.
Well, they're usually the third Wednesday, but the one in March, they have it on.
But I mean, it might have only been 20 days in February.
Could be.
We can check it.
The one in March they have is a Tuesday. It's probably just a typo.
Yeah. Okay, next one is the fire committee, the fire department to open application for a full-time position. This is kind of open for discussion. There's a little bit of, I did some cost analysis of this and kind of on the quick. The balance of fiscal year, it seemed to be in balance, but there's definitely a question in a second. But I guess, Justin, I don't know if you want to go over it a little bit.
I mean, it's pretty spelled out. We've met and discussed a few times. We've been discussing this here for the last couple months now. The real concern I have is the lack of manpower that we have currently with the fire department. We're at 16 members. We just actually lost one here last week, and 2 of those members are basically trainees. They don't have any training at all. I'll give you an example. Today we had 3 calls, and I was the only one that responded to those calls, except for another gentleman that was home because he was sick from work. So my fear is not having that person around during the day. And that's what this position is hopefully being able to help with.
I think.
Because our daytime help is just, that's not there. We're in the years past, we had 25 members on the department, and out of those 25, you could usually count on at least one person being around. It's just not the case nowadays, so.
I know we're about staffed about 50% what we used to be. I think you've done some advertising and Facebook or different things. And a question I talked to you today about maybe trying to utilize that sign like we used to do.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, we've been trying all avenues.
Yeah, to do that.
Sporting events and stuff
Yeah.
at the school, we'll make contact.
Because so I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna leave a little up to council, what they want to kind of do a little more due diligence, that's fine. The figures that I kind of come up with and that between now and June 30th, it could be accomplished, I think, within the existing budget, barring any unforeseen circumstances. However, the next fiscal year, I think there could be some problems when I project it out 1 year. So I kind of thrown it out to council, I just, what their input is, if they want to kind of do a little more work on it and do a little more thought, it's up to them, up to you guys. So.
Depends on what the meeting was like, Jason. We did have a meeting on it, and like we have to get the other townships, like in writing, to agree to it. We say the first year would be a problem, but I don't know if that would solve our problems if we'd still only have one person to be the employee.
Mm-hmm.
How long before, what number would the fire department go under at?
What number were I'm not sure what you're.
How many members before we would lose our?
Lose the
To be
department?
feasible,
I mean, to be a fire department, I'm not sure that there's an actual number there. I mean, if we got down to 10, then it would be really, we'd have an issue, definitely.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know, which we're not far from that number. And we're working on long-term stuff right now with the feasibility study with that SEMCOG's doing right now to do possibly an authority to help that out to where we can combine resources maybe from another community. But
That's kind
of a long-term
yeah, that normally
outlook.
takes 5 years or so to put
I
together.
would say,
And
yeah.
I know other areas are doing it, and I think it's a good thing to pursue.
There is other departments,
But
correct.
It's
that-
just going to take a long
That's
time.
gonna take time, yeah, I mean, it's a
Right.
future,
Yeah.
something we're looking into in the future. But as far as short-term goals, this was kind of
Yeah.
an idea that we had to fix it short-term.
Well, if
Just make sure that somebody's here during the daytime.
yeah, I think
And to
right.
handle the stuff that
Yeah.
needs to be handled.
I think the very, if council wants to approve it, it definitely should be a period from now to the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, and then be evaluated at that time, if you want to do it on a trial basis. Or the other alternative is do a little more research, but I can go over these figures again, because I did them quite quick. I think they're fairly correct, but, you know, I could have missed something, so, because I just started looking at it yesterday, so. But, so I think either one or the other, if we can delay it another couple of weeks and try to, fire department committee could look at it again and try to be on board with this and make the recommendation, or.
I'd really like to see it tabled for till the next meeting.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to have some time to kind of go over it, and hopefully everybody will be here at that time when we do vote on it, for one thing. And, you know, I'd really like to see something in writing from the townships that they agree before we.
Spend their money.
I mean, I said, when Justin and I talked about it, if he thinks it will help, then I support it, but I do think that, you know, we need to make sure that, as far as the unemployment thing goes, I think that's definitely something we want to think about.
I think it definitely would be some support because you would have someone here most days. But, okay, well, then,
Can I make
why don't we
a motion to
table
table
it,
it till
and
the next
then
meeting?
you have a committee meeting, and if, and I'll try to go these figures again and make sure they're kind of more accurate, because I did do them on the fly, so.
I'll make a motion to table until the next meeting.
Okay.
Support it.
Parker absent, Schneider.
Yes.
Can we make that motion to table it to the November's meeting? I can't attend the third Wednesday, or that third Tuesday. It's a St. Clair County Chiefs meeting, and I'm on the agenda for that usually.
That would be November 3rd.
Well,
I would assume you'd probably want me here during.
I think we need to get all the questions answered between then and now anyways.
If you're good with me not being here, I just won't be here for that meeting, I know that.
Well, what do you think, Larry?
It's up to you guys.
Mr. Mayor?
You could table, well, if you want to table to the 3rd.
I mean, I hate the idea of voting for anything like this on election day.
Oh,
I would,
Right.
you'd rather table it beyond that, or?
well,
or 2
only
weeks- or 2 weeks?
because
Yeah.
you're gonna vote on something.
Well, then it would be December,
Right.
then, because I won't be able to make the third Tuesday of
Okay.
November.
So December.
I don't know.
If we can just probably just keep it at that,
Well,
and
let's
I'll
table
try
it
to get out of
until the
here.
next meeting,
Chiefs
and
meeting.
we'll see what happens at the next meeting.
Okay.
If we have to get something answered, we'll have to table it again. Hopefully we can figure it out between then and now.
Right.
Okay, Parker absent, Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops absent, Wilson.
Yes.
Lucasar.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Okay, the next is the ADA improvement project. It looks like we're finally getting this, all the hiccups worked out, and this is going to be proceed. And hopefully it will, because we're running out of time. So, right now the schedule is the bids be going out October 6th. We'll open the bids October 20th, and the engineer will review the bids October 21st. He normally was going to go out 3 weeks, but because of our time constraints, he's going to do it in 2 weeks. That's the minimum you have, is 2 weeks. We don't want to wait to our next council meeting, so I'd like to schedule a special council meeting, and it will either be October 26th, 23rd, or 26th. I prefer the 22nd or the 23rd, because the 26th I'm going in for an operation. So, it's in and out, but you never know how things will go. So I prefer either that 22nd or the 23rd. I think that's a Thursday or Friday, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So so what I like to do tonight is schedule that special meeting. So, well, first of all, are you available on the 22nd? That'd be the Thursday. Is that
Fine.
Everybody available?
Work for me?
It works for you? Okay. all right.
22nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, 22nd. And then what about time-wise? Maybe 6:30? Would that be okay, or?
Okay.
Okay, so,
By all means,
all right, could I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
What is ADA?
Oh, that's all the,
Americans with
that's
Disabilities.
it, the handicap, the ramp over at the community center, the doors, all of that. Okay?
Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops absent, Wilson.
Yes.
Lucasar.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker absent.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, the Michigan Municipal League of Board of Directors. I think this is sort of just routine, but we do send it in, so since you're reading who's running, whatever, I'll just entertain a motion that we approve the two people running.
So moved.
Support.
Stoops absent, Wilson.
Yes.
Lucasar.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker absent, Schneider.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is one that I've been working on for many years. And
No.
Halloween hours?
Halloween hours? Oh,
That's a rough one.
I'm getting ahead of my time, I'm sorry. No, I haven't been working on that, no. I apologize. Okay, Halloween hours from 6.
Larry, I want to make a motion to set the Halloween hours from 6 till 8.
Okay,
Support.
Wilson,
yes.
Zukasar.
Yes.
ZukasW.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker absent, Schneider.
Yes.
Okay,
Stoops
now.
absent.
I'll
Doesn't seem
go.
that hard.
Oh, yeah. This is one I've been working on for many years, and this is a mechanical inspector. Since I worked on it 2 or 3 years ago, they've changed the requirements significantly. And I talked to Jeff Kern, and he reviewed my file and got contacted him, so what they informed him, they were asking so many questions that weren't necessary, and so it was about a 2-page form. It's been submitted, it's been accepted, and so effective October 5th, the city of Memphis will be doing our own mechanical inspection. So, but we interviewed William Karras back quite a few years ago, and oh, you got Mayor Weaver. Dan's not here anymore.
What do I have to remember?
Right here.
What is that?
Mayor Weaver.
Oh, no, when I talked about that, sorry.
Okay. Anyway, so we interviewed him quite a few years ago, and he's willing to accept being a mechanical inspector. So I'll entertain a motion to approve him as a mechanical inspector.
Now, can he be a mechanical inspector for others?
Yes. Yes, he's also qualified for the plumbing as well. So.
No, I mean to go to other cities.
Yep.
Oh, yes, he can. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, if that's your question, yes. He can.
I'll make a motion, we appoint William Karras as our new mechanical inspector.
Support.
ZukasW.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker absent, Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops absent, Wilson.
Yes.
Zukasar.
Yes.
I'll just make one comment too, that anything the state is now involved with, they'll finish that. In other words, if there is, like the phosphor oil here, they'll have to see that through to the end. So, and then the new mechanical inspector will pick up all the new projects. So, so hopefully this will, we won't have the long delays that we've had in the past, okay? So, that's good. Okay, the second thing is the mechanical inspection application permit rates. And so this is what I think was what the state charges, and we're just going to approve those rates. So I entertain a motion to approve that.
I make the motion, we approve the race.
Second it.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker absent, Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops absent, Wilson.
Yes.
Zukasar.
Yes.
ZukasW.
Yes.
And from the mayor, I have nothing. Bobby?
No, no.
Eric?
No, Mr. Mayor, I have nothing.
Okay.
Nothing tonight.
Bill?
No.
Okay. Jimmy? You got the floor.
Thank you. Over the past couple of years, we've had 4 splits, combinations of property that have come to us in a number of different ways. Initiated by Dan when he was mayor. We had the Salt Dome and the Grace property. We also had the DPW property with the northern residential parcel that was created on Bell River. We've got currently pending the split across the street with the gas station for Foster and the Dollar General. I will say I'm a little bit frustrated in that this process is kind of coming from different directions each time, and all with good intention, but I find myself in a position where people are calling me and questioning, where it stands with their split, and then all of the answers aren't there. One of the councilmen did bring up the fact that when we looked at the St. Clair County mapping, GIS, and identify the properties as they're recognized by St. Clair County, that the salt dome is still in the name of Grace Properties. There's a number of different ways that we can handle this, and that's what I'm suggesting. Very simply, that we create a checklist that all splits and combinations, although our ordinance does require that they go through planning commission, I'm fine with that. We need to make sure that all of the information is being requested up front, the applications are being filed, and if necessary, verification of who the owners are. That if property is being transferred, that there are deeds that are created and they are in fact recorded. And that we get copies of that information back to us upon the completion of that process. That recommendations should be made by the fire department, by the police department, by the Department of Public Works, and by the assessor back to the planning commission prior to their making their decision to split or combine any properties. And you might ask, why would the fire department care? The fire code might require that you have access to a door or an access way for public safety or for police purposes if we're looking at traffic, where the ingress and egress may be and how that might affect public safety. Assessing would, obviously we would be looking at the Land Division Act and whether or not it conforms, and then our DPW should be looking at whether or not it's going to comply, whether we can tap into the property for sewer, water, or if there's any difficulties. This should all be brought forward before the Planning Commission makes a decision so that they can encourage, if changes could be made to rectify the situation, we can do that. Very much like we did with our discussion in Dollar General. I'm at a point right now where I have 2 splits that are pending and I do not have the information I need. I've been on the phone and I've talked to the Fosters. They've been very wonderful people to deal with, but they don't split property for a living. They're relying on their attorneys and things are getting a little bit slow. We should have done this before they ever got a building permit. It is our leverage, it should happen at that point in time, and we should have a checklist for that. This is a copy of what I asked the property owner, Nina and Hod, about the division of the property where Dollar General is going in. And I asked if he would simply drop a copy of the survey off so that I could take a look at it and I could expedite this to get the new parcel identification numbers. I have mortgage companies and bankers that are calling me during the day because they need parcel identification numbers so that they can do the title work. This is what he dropped off. This is a preliminary site plan that was drawn by an engineering company. It only deals with the Dollar General after it's been completed. So to that I suggest that we need an application process. We need recommendations from the entities I've already identified. We need the planning department or planning commission to look at this, and we have to have surveys with drawings on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper of the sketch of the property with the dimensions, along with on 8.5 by 11 the legal descriptions of the property for both before the project was started and after the project was started or completed or will be completed, labeled very clearly, alphabetically A, B, C, D, and so on. So it's very clear. We need a fee structure. Macomb County does not charge a fee for our land divisions. St. Clair County does. We have an internal fee structure for the Planning Commission of $40. But that doesn't necessarily cover the cost as we pass that through to St. Clair County. And then we find that we as a city are having to front that cost. It should not fall on as a burden on the taxpayers to front the cost of a land division when it's somebody asking for it from us.
Right, the fee should be at the application time, right?
Yes, so I'd like to revisit that, and if we need to formally adopt a fee structure, I'd like to go into that at a later meeting. This is really about getting the ball rolling so that we're all going in the right direction, that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's, and the city is not looking like we're dragging our feet. And we have a process where I'll work with our clerk and as far as getting the information processed and mailed out to the proper authorities. Then we will get that information back, we'll put it into our system. But we have to have this turned in. I work on an annual cycle, so for the assessing cycle, I'm dealing with what is true as of December 31st. That will be what we establish our values for 2016. So I'm running out of time. It doesn't seem like it, but it sneaks up on us. And we don't want to put this on the county that we're dumping all of our information for splits and combinations with the other communities doing the same thing. We want to get this resolved as soon as possible. I guess the point is we need to be involved in the process from the very beginning, and we need to kind of make sure that everything comes to the Planning Commission complete before they deliberate on it, before they make it, not based on an idea or a good idea. I mean, it's been exciting, the things that have been happening, but they've been pushed through in such a way that we're not crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Case in point, if the salt dome belongs to the city, a deed should have been recorded that would put it in our name. Title work should have been done on the property to confirm that there's no liens or encumbrances on that property, and that in fact we do own it free and clear.
And we should do
Since,
that.
since we put that salt dome up, the property next to it, which was Grace's, is now been sold to
It's
Donato.
transferred, and that is transferred in the county record. It does show that Mr. Donato bought the property, but it does not show, and that's where a recorded deed comes through. So when we talk about process, if we had our attorney draft the deed, or if Grace's attorney drafted the deed, I don't ever remember saying anything about a discussion of a deed. I do remember the discussion that they wanted to create an opportunity or a location for us to have a salt dome. We need to have that cleared up. We've created a division of the property. We're considering it to be exempt for the purpose of taxation. We need to make sure that we cover ourselves by in fact making sure that there's a deed that does say that an exempt authority owns it. This is my nice voice. I'm a little frustrated with this because I need it to be right in the first place, because my job is to protect your best interest and the public's best interest. So I appreciate your help with that.
Okay.
I will provide
You'll provide the.
a checklist of things that I think should happen for your consideration at your convenience at the next meeting that is convenient for you, that we can adopt as a process. I'm not recommending that we change the ordinance in any way, that we add to it some structure that will ensure that things happen in a timely and completed manner. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. You'll proceed and help.
I'll put that together for you in the next week.
Okay. I think that's all that's on the agenda, so we're gonna have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Okay,